Bye.
Can you tell me, chaps, to begin with, the usual stuff about how the group started?
Chris will.
Come on, Chris.
Thanks, Geoff. Well, we came together knowing each other through the music scene in Seattle, Washington, where we're from, and just found all of us out of a band at the same time and decided we'd get together and write some songs. And so we did, and that was the beginnings.
You missing the best part of the story.
Oh, that's right, wait.
We all met, strangely and mysteriously, in a fish and chips restaurant.
Fish and chips? They don't
Yeah.
have fish and chips in America.
Oh, they do, with very English titles, you know, names. Those are skippers. H. Salt or something like that. Yeah, we were all there one night, and we saw each other. How are you?
It sounds like something out of a film. And then you all said, hey, let's start a band.
Let's start a band, and we did. And, you know.
Fortunately, we all played not all drums and not all guitars.
And there wasn't any accordion players there. So
why heavy metal? Why a heavy metal group? I mean, as opposed to, I don't know, new wave or whatever.
Well, I think we tend to be violent people, really. No.
No, but I mean, was that the kind of music that you all loved and were all into? By another curious coincidence.
it's probably the only music that we sounded good at. We did best at that type of music. I don't know, really. It must have been our environment. Yeah, we're just tools of our environment, I guess.
Well, we just started writing songs, and that's kind of what they came out like. And people said, well, I guess that's the kind of music you play. And we said, well, I guess so.
Yes, it is. Over here, I mean, in Britain, I suppose, heavy metal fans are regarded by other music fans as a bit of a joke. You know, a lot of spotty boys in big greatcoats, which their mums sew Def Leppard patches onto for them. What are your audiences like in America? Is it very much there is a heavy metal audience?
Well, lately, last couple of years, there's sort of this, it's become the fashion. You know, we're here, like, the new music is more fashion, you know. And in the States, heavy metal has become fashion, of all things.
Almost inconceivable to a
It
European.
is, and it's very different. Like, you go to a show here, a heavy metal show here, and the majority of the audience is male.
Oh, yes.
And in the States, it's half or even more female.
Really?
And they're all dressed in these intense mini skirts made of leather, and you know the whole
Various stages of undress.
undress and
Sounds like a fine career for a
Ah,
young lad.
you picked
This
the right
does.
one.
the whole leather regalia. You know, it's really different.
Wait, so if it's so it's quite fashionable. Because I was going to ask you, where does heavy metal music kind of fit in to the spectrum in America? Because you have really heavily segregated radio and things like that, don't you?
Well, we have radio stations that have specific formats for, you know, like you have AOR, which is album-oriented radio, which plays like a cross-section of everything.
Yeah.
And then you've got...
But it's not a cross-section of everything, is it? That's the whole point.
Well,
surely,
it's
that
a cross-section of what's popular.
Yeah, but it doesn't
Yeah.
play sort of poppy pop or soul reggae or anything.
Well, there are like specific stations that cater to certain tastes, and so the rock kids have their stations that they listen to, and the people that listen to anything, you know, reggae or whatever, everyone's got a station to listen to, so it's really nice.
You think it's a good thing rather than the bad thing that it's all split up like that?
I think it's a good thing that, like, in each city, there's 75 different radio stations. You know, you can tune to. So, you know, whatever you want to listen to, you can find. Even gospel, soul, experimental music. Turned into a radio station the other day, had frogs croaking, you know, for 15 minutes. Whatever you want, you know.
What's the result?
Your first LP, The Warning, is out now, and it was recorded in London. Why was that?
Well, we were looking for a producer a few months back, and we had gone through several different people and hadn't really quite found the right one yet. And our record label suggested James Guthrie. And, James Guthrie. Pink Floyd. Yeah, okay, let's talk to him. So we did, and we got on real well. He's really on the same level as we were looking for, and he looks just like Chris's brother.
That was the clincher.
That was the clincher,
it.
and we said, we got to use him. And he was real comfortable using studios in London, because he has worked here quite a bit. And he said, well, why don't we do the record in London? And we said, yeah, let's go. So we spent 3.5 months here working on it. 4 different
What did you
studios.
think of the place?
Oh, it's incredible. It's so much different from where we live. In this tiny little suburb of a small city, tucked away. There's no international terrorism, and there's
No exciting
no
things.
exciting things like that, you know. And coming to London, you know, we were here when they were bombing the Libyan embassy, and right next door to us, basically, and it's totally different. It was quite an eye-opening experience.
Yeah, what about the other more pleasant things, though?
Oh,
Well, we did get a chance to go out and sightsee in between our hours in the studio, but
we hit all the tourist spots.
yeah.
I'll have British flags.
Is it very much different from an American city?
Yes.
Very much different.
I thought Americans always found London sort of slow for a big city. It's not all kind of razzly, and it's not New York.
Actually, that's what's great about it. It's very antique architecture and great things to see, and well, Spud you like around the corner.
Yeah,
and
of course.
we couldn't really ask
Spuddy-like.
for much
They
more.
don't have Spuddy-like in the States. Yeah.
Do you ever, I don't know, maybe wandering around London, sort of looking at all the trendy clothes shops or whatever, ever look at a suit, a really tasty suit or something like that, and think, oh, wow, I would love to get out of this heavy metal apparel. Well, you know, I mean, there's a cover of your LP, and you're all wearing, you know, the regulation leathers and things like that.
Actually, we're not wearing the regulation leathers. As a matter of fact, and a lot of people that like the band go, why don't you guys wear chains and stuff, you know? I don't know, we sort of think Rob Halford from Judas Priest wears enough chains for everybody, really, so we decided to do something a little different.
What do you think of heavy metal groups, generally, outside of this?
That's a tricky question.
Oh, come on,
Well,
don't be
I think
tactful.
every musician that writes music really is prejudiced towards his own what he does. You know, and the older you get and the more you write, the less you listen to other people, and the more you start just listening to yourself. You know?
Oh
And so-
yeah, but I mean, you are working within a genre and a very sort of clearly defined one. I mean, like you're young, right? You're the rising stars of heavy metal. I mean, what do you think about all the old dinosaur groups? You know? I mean, are you basically here to blow them away, or what?
Not really. I mean, they've done quite a bit in their time, you know, for elevating this type of music, and you know, I think it's about time some newer bands came up, you know, with some fresh ideas and maybe a little bit more broadened horizons, I guess. Maybe.
I mean, your biography, for example, is right on the
no,
button.
we're not
as
going to get
far-
into this, are we?
No, it's right on the button as far as I'm concerned. It points out, I mean, while saying that you're not like this, that heavy metal is sort of dominated by themes of satanic violence and face paint. So you add in sexism to that, and you've got the usual sort of heavy metal patent, really, haven't you? Are you trying to do something different, or what?
By all means, yes. It's about time, I think. It is very much dominated by that. You know, you pick up a magazine and you see all these people with upside-down crosses and everything. You know.
Yeah, we started out very much concentrating on the music, which is the main point. And well, plus there just wasn't any good makeup stores around where we live.
Really, so
in Redmond, so
we're sort of out of luck. Huh?
we had to kind of deal with.
There's just more. There's just more to music than subjects like that. You know, let's get beyond the cliche. Let's go do something different. You know, that's just what we're trying to do.
It's funny, isn't it, that pop fans like to know everything about their heroes. You know, I mean, they like to know their tastes and all about their private lives and things like that. Yet heavy metal stars don't seem to be known so much as personalities, are they? Do you know what I mean? They're like sort of big heroes up there on the stage. Is that how you're regarded by your fans, your loyal supporters?
I never really thought about that. I think one thing that's kind of interesting about the differences between the two genres of music is that, like, the punk movement, when that first came out, the stages were low, where the people could get involved in music. And in our style of music, the stages are always high to be, like, elevated above the audience, you know, which I think is really sort of a shame, because it'd be nice to involve the audience, you know, and get them involved. But I think if you picked up, like, a heavy metal fanzine or something like that, you'd see details about people. I think it's the same.
I wonder perhaps it's just different though. I mean, maybe people don't want to know that Ozzy Osbourne is a good bloke who loves his wife and his kids and his dogs or whatever. I mean, maybe they really want to think that he's, you know.
Oh, he does. I think I see what you're getting at, yeah. It's very much built on sensationalism.
I mean, do you actually want it getting out that you're nice guys? This is what it boils down to.
Yeah, I think that's our whole point. that we're trying to stress is that we're just normal guys like everybody else, you know. We're not, we're not.
A voice of dissent from over there in the corner.
Okay, I'm fine.
No, we're not, you know, we're not these, you know, satanic worshippers or all that sensationalistic garbage, you know. There's no need for it. There's too many people doing it anyway. You know?
The traditional way for a rock group, I suppose, to start off and get on and do their apprenticeship, which you have done, is to support everybody, or like the big names or whatever. What's that like? The opening for all these big heavy
Frustrating.
metal.
Frustrating, but a
all
great
the time,
experience.
but-
We've had a chance in the last year since the release of our first 4-song record to go out and learn a lot by touring with big name bands. And this last tour that we've just completed now, coming off the Paris date, was with Dio and Ronnie James Dio's band, and it was a great experience. Great band, real nice guys, and we learned a whole lot. We got a chance to play for a lot of audiences all over Europe.
Is it generally like that? I mean, are the sort of headliners generally quite encouraging, or is
No.
there a
No.
It depends on the band. I think if the band has confidence in themselves, in their direction, and in their audience, then they'll give you lots of encouragement and lots of room to go for your own thing. You know? But if the band doesn't really have
if they're frightened of
if
you?
they're frightened of it, and they feel they're threatened, you know, they clamp down on it. But luckily, we've been with some acts that have been real confident, and they've given us a lot of encouragement. Like Ronnie was really, you know, whenever they could, they gave us stage room and sound checks and enough lights to do the show. And, you know, they didn't.
No sneaky pulling the plug out on you or anything like
No,
that?
just on the last night in Paris, and they thought they'd get us back, and we had people streaking across the stage and no clothing, and somebody let off mace in the front audience, and half the audience left.
Oh, no.
And they came
Oh,
back.
really good.
They came back though. But, you know, it was that kind of night, but it was just all good fun.
So, finally, can you tell me a bit about your video? Because it's not just a question of making promos for you, is it? You've sort of taken the promos out of something bigger.
Yeah, well, when we were in Japan touring, we headlined some shows there in August, and we decided, well, we're here, let's do something with this, and we had a company come over from London and film the whole thing in 35 millimeters. And they came over and we shot the whole two shows in Tokyo, and so we're in the middle right now, up to our necks, in editing this film down, and we're going to be putting it out, I think, Christmas time as a video cassette.
Right. So it's not just left to the technical people. I mean, you're actually having a hand in putting it
Certainly.
together, in post-producing it.
That's what's really fun, is we are involved.
We pulled a few of them for promotional clips
Mm.
for the singles off the record, and the rest of it we're putting together for a feature-length tour video of Japan. We had to edit out some of the more unspeakable things that happened, but
Would you like to tell us about those very quickly before we go?
Well,
Come
let's
on,
see.
like what?
Just the usual things that happen at a show, you know, when women start taking off their clothes. No. Throwing things up on stage.
I think perhaps we'll draw a veil on the conversation at this point. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
thank you.